it's WendyMichelle, and today's video is discussing my review of Scarowinds 2021. Maybe you've never been to Scarowinds. There are a lot of local haunts that you can go to during the month of October. I love Halloween, I love fall, I love all the cool things that you could do. And I've always wanted to go to Scarowinds. In fact, I got season passes for my daughter and I both, just so that we could go to Scarowinds later on. So this is all about my opinion. You may have your own. You can give me your take in the comments below. I would love to hear it. But I'm going to give you a rundown on what I just encountered with my very first visit. It's very different from just going to Scarowinds, the park. And this particular one is in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is based on my visit Saturday, October the 9th. Now, of course, you cannot video anything in there, which is quite the bummer, considering I am a YouTube creator and I put everything, my life and my stories and whatever I'm trying to teach or present in video form. You can have your phone confiscated if you try to video anything. And they tell you constantly over microphones and whatnot going throughout the park. Do I recommend Scarowinds? Now, this is interesting because if you don't know me, and welcome, first of all, to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has hung in there with me as I've been going through some different personal trials and whatnot. But hello and welcome to all my new subscribers. I'm very excited to have you here. And I just hope that you can resonate with at least one of my playlists. You know, I like getting feedback. I love talking to each one of you and getting to know you. So please place your comments and talk to me at hellothompsonwendy@gmail.com. Do I recommend it? I am not the typical person that gets scared very easily. I love Halloween. I love horror movies, ghost stories, ghost adventures, ghost hunting. I've had paranormal type things happen throughout my life, especially since I was a child, which is very controversial, I know, and especially as a Christian. And I will be discussing that in my Time with God series and how I have had to try to figure things out and integrate where they all come together and meet and why. But I just don't get scared very easily because, quite truthfully, people and what they are capable of doing are far scarier than a haunted house or some kind of haunted attraction. Well, it didn't scare me, but I will say other people I observed found it scary. And it was just Zoe and I going. She's going on 12, and you know, there's a lot of character jump scares. And even when I pointed them out to her, I said, there's one right there. You know, I know all the tricks. I have played a character in a local haunted house, and she has also been a part of it as far as representing them in a 4th of July parade, and stayed in character amazingly well for the 8 grueling hour makeup and everything, then the parade and all the waiting and whatnot. But there are tons of characters, not just within the attractions themselves. There's mazes and rooms and haunted things to walk through, and some are sort of silly. A lot of them do try to scare you. Now, they are not allowed to touch you, so you shouldn't be worried about that. I think that's pretty much the case, except for what? McCamey Manor? Is that right? Is that what it is? McCamey?
Yeah. McCamey Manor, yeah.
In fact, I haven't heard any updates about them in a while.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. So, you hear Zoe in the background. I actually find it a little unusual that I haven't heard any updates with it being this time of the year. But yeah, there are things. I saw some very scared people and people running out of things. Now, this particular night, it was a Saturday night. They actually started Scarowinds sometime in September, and it runs through Halloween. And it's only on Friday and Saturday nights as of now. I think as it gets closer, because Halloween is actually on Sunday, they'll be doing it on Sunday too. But they run Carowinds during the day and close at 5. There's a 2-hour break, and then the park transforms when it's dark. Now, it is completely decorated. Now, if I remember correctly, when I was reading up on it, before the Scarowinds schedule was put up, I know there's over 100 characters just walking around, and we're not even talking about the ones that are actually in some of the attractions. We went into, and I'm gonna tell you, it was crazy busy. Now, you're gonna expect that, especially as it gets closer to Halloween. But I talked to some of the characters myself, and they said Saturdays are the worst. Traffic in Charlotte is not great anyways. There's always a traffic jam, a crash, or something. Typically from our home, it would take an hour, a little over an hour. If traffic is going well, there's no crashes, there's no detours, that type of thing. I think we were only 20 minutes into our drive, and there was a huge crash, saying that there was going to be, at that point, an hour wait just sitting in it. So it took us on a crazy detour, and I'm thinking, I really hope we end up where we're supposed to be going, because I don't know a lot about Charlotte anymore. I graduated from university there with my first degree. It has changed so much, and especially driving at night and the good old eyes not being what they used to be. I was just praying the GPS was correct, and it just kept sending us different ways and whatnot. It was really weird. But we ended up being in this long line before you even get to Carowinds Boulevard. The traffic is just stopped. Now, like I said, it's only open from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. We're already behind schedule because of the detour and everything to get there as soon as the park opens. Let me highly recommend to you that if you are planning on going to Scarowinds, especially with it now getting even closer to Halloween, that you are so right there in the vicinity of Carowinds. Whether you have a hotel to where you can walk. The closest one is Spring Hill Suites, and that is the official Carowinds hotel, it's still a good little walk. And I saw a lot of people once we finally got onto Carowinds Boulevard walking. I'm like, why are all these people walking? But here we are just sitting constantly, barely moving. It kept saying that we were only 0.6 of a mile from our destination. It took us close to 4 hours to finally get to where we were going through the parking area and showing our passes. And then the parking. The entrance is not where you would go for Carowinds. It's at a different destination. There are no signs telling you where you turn and where you go, so that it shows you on your GPS where you would normally go if you're going to Carowinds. Now, if you go that way, you're gonna just find some roadblocks and police officers saying this is for the employees' entrance only. You need to turn around, and then there's another long line. Guys, I finally found a parking space on the very last line of the park. And we were doing good to get that. And there were quite a few people starting to leave. We were finally getting through the gate. Now, you can't take any bags in like you normally would. They won't allow that if you have to have anything. Of course, if you want to use the Carowinds app, which will show you, show your ticket, passes, where things are in the park, where to go to get drinks, where the bathrooms are, any of that. There's even something on there showing you where your car is parked if you forget. Well, for some reason, during Scarowinds, because of them not wanting people to video, that app is not going to do you one bit of good. And even if you think you know Carowinds inside and out, well, it's dark and it's been transformed into a completely different reality. You have no idea where you're going, where anything is. I highly suggest you research ahead of time on the Carowinds app. It will tell you all about the different mazes, rooms that you can do. Some rides are put together with characters. There's 5 or more shows that you can see. Literally, you need to be in that area and ready to walk. I would much rather walk 3 miles and be and not have to worry about parking. You will be entering the North Gate entrance only to get into Scarowinds, and you can't have anything bigger than 4.5 by 6.5 if you need to carry medications. Like my daughter needs an inhaler, your car keys, your phone. That's really all you can carry on you anyways. The lockers are not available. Yeah, but that app did not work at all. And there was just so many people. And you know what it's like leaving a big sports event or a graduation held at a coliseum or a concert, how it takes forever to get out. I just went ahead and just sat there, and Zoe and I looked at different things on my phone, and really still just sitting in the parking lot, you cannot really pull up anything online. until you get out of the park, because they do not want you videoing anything. But I will say that they did a great job with the fog machines, the scenery. I think the best part of it is the music. I'd give that an A+. The music was just wonderful with everything that was going on, and it integrated well as you went from one thing to another. And if you are totally confused about where to go, and we knew, okay, here we are finally going through the gates at 11 p.m. We had 1 hour. So obviously we're going to be trying to hit it again so we can see all these other things, if that works out with our move and all that. But you have no idea. There are so many people. The COVID restrictions have completely stopped. There were way too many people there. And you know, it's funny because there are a lot of the characters that you will completely miss just because there's so many people walking around. True, but yeah, the music is great. We got to go through the Tooth Fairy, which is a new attraction that you walk through and see lots of gory stuff. And the, what was it called? The meat, the slaughterhouse. The slaughterhouse. We got to hit the slaughterhouse. We got to walk through that. Lots of jump scares, of course. There's characters in every corner. Is it worth it? Like I said, I don't get scared. It was fun. It was great to have a distraction from all the chaos and the packing and everything we're going through right now. I would say if you like scary things, but you get scared, you'll love it. I mean, I could definitely appreciate it for what it was. You could tell they put a lot of work into it. It is way better than the majority of the local haunts that I have gone to, and many of those are run by volunteers, and those people are very committed and not really getting paid, if anything, to do that. And it's a lot of time to commit. At least these characters are paid, and yeah, they were even staying in character as you're trying to get out of the park along with the other 3 million people, you know. I say get there super, super early. Plan on being, I mean, they will close Scarowinds down at 5. I'm assuming everyone has to leave the park so they can have the characters all come in and whatnot. I was talking to quite a few. I'm like, where is the best places to go since we have an hour? And they are more than nice about telling you, okay, I would hit this and this, and they try to give you directions on where to go. But like I said, lots of people, and you have characters jumping out at you from everywhere. And yeah, it took us a while to find the slaughterhouse. It definitely did. We walked through a few of the little haunted things. I can't give a full recommendation just because that's all we got to encounter was an hour worth. But I enjoyed that. And I thought that was well worth the little extra I paid to have the pass to go to Scarowinds. But if you want to enjoy it like you really should, if you don't live anywhere near Scarowinds, go ahead and plan on packing up and getting in that area. and being around super close. And if there's somewhere you can park, I saw a lot of people just park on the side of the road and walking because they just gave up sitting in that traffic. It was awful. But fortunately, we had a good radio station we hit in Charlotte that, yeah, there was one doozy of a song, and we turned to another station, and, you know, it was just nice to get out of the house, stop looking at boxing and packing and trying to figure out where we're moving and all that. Guys, if you're sort of desensitized like me, you'll enjoy it. I mean, you'll find it amusing. Especially if you've been a character like me in a haunted attraction, you know the tricks. You know where people are going to be hiding. You know where something's going to like fall down in front of you all of a sudden, that type of thing. Even with it being dark, you're going to get stuck in traffic, whether you're heading to Charlotte, and that's going to be a bummer. 5 hours. That's not very long for that park to be open. And with so many people going, and there were a few people wearing masks, but really, it's just a risk that you take on. They say, if you've had the vaccination, don't worry about a mask. If you haven't, wear one. I wouldn't recommend it for small children at all. I didn't see any scared kids. I saw children that were asleep. They were exhausted. Most likely they had been at Scarowinds all during the day, and their parents were like carrying them, you know. Children just are so heavy when they're asleep. It's like holding a dead body. I tell you what, those children were just out. But yeah, I heard quite a few people screaming, and as we're walking out, and sort of tickled by some of the comments people are making. Oh, this one person was just targeting me all night long. Well, that's what you're coming for. So expect that. They will tell you as you are standing in line for an attraction, if you are easily scared, if you have any kinds of issues, health conditions and whatnot, this is not a place for you to go into. There are some that are a lot more calmer than others. Of course, I wanted to see the scarier ones and the newer ones they've added on. That, so far, is my review for Scarowinds 2021 in Charlotte, North Carolina. I hope we could get back and I can give you a little more insight, but it's really up to you. I think it's better to, even if you don't have a pass or anything and you pay just to go, it's better to do that than to hit one of the local attractions. You'll get way more out of it just because you can tell the characters are invested. They're being paid and they do a great job, and they will come out of character to talk to you, to sort of tell you where to go, because there's fog machines and there's this and there's that, and you know, all kinds of lights going crazy. If you have problems with seizures, anything like that, I wouldn't recommend it. Anybody that can't be just on their feet, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're looking for something Halloweeny before the big day, go, but go early, guys. God bless your today and all your tomorrows. Have a great Halloween, and I will be talking to you later about other subjects. Boo!